wrongful death trial is set to get underway next month after a San Diego State graduate died after riding a roller coaster back in 2022. A CT scan later revealed he had what's called catastrophic subdural hematoma. But what is that? And could going on a thrill ride be dangerous for you? And here to talk more about this, we have Dr. Vamsi Shavakula, neurosurgeon with Sharp Memorial Hospital. And Doctor, I want to first of all thank you for being here.
Thank you for having me.
Let's talk about this. I say that on air. I don't even know what that means. Catastrophic subdural hematoma. What exactly is that?
So the way we talk about it is our brain is heavily protected. We have the scalp on top, we have the skull underneath, and underneath the skull we have a special lining of the brain called the dura. And this membrane contains spinal fluid underneath, and that provides an extra cushion from the brain in case of any impact. Now what also happens is the brain has veins which drain through the dura down to the neck and into the rest of the body. So when someone is in a violent accident or strikes their head, you can have a catastrophic tear of one of these veins. It's almost like breaking a water main to the house. And all of a sudden there can be a rush of blood. And when blood in one of these subdural brains escapes and fills that space, that's what leads to a subdural hematoma.
So considering this young man, it's not necessarily that he had any prior, like a health condition or pre-existing condition of that nature. That doesn't even matter, it sounds like.
Oftentimes it doesn't. It's very hard to know without knowing the specifics of the case.
Sure.
But we do see these in very high-speed impacts. Oftentimes we see this in car accidents, people who are on bikes going fairly fast without wearing their helmets. There are certain boxers that have been found to have these after some pretty significant fights. So we do see them oftentimes mostly in high-speed trauma, high-velocity trauma.
And so this obviously happened back in 2022. I know that specific roller coaster has been shut down because it sounds like very recently another person became unconscious while riding these roller coasters. We hear this, and then we start to think, could I be at risk if I ride something for the thrill of it?
These rides are meant with safety in mind, and they are well developed. Oftentimes what happens is there's some sort of lapse in safety or some break. It sounds like with this particular ride, a lot of design and development went into it, but I think something must have failed, and what that probably led to is in rides that are going very fast, it was just a sudden head strike.
And so I guess my question is, we have to proceed with caution. Obviously, we know that ride specifically was going 76 miles an hour at some points. Are there any other injuries that we can get from riding something like a roller coaster?
When they're functioning properly, there's so much safety built in that it's not an issue. So oftentimes I tell most of my patients or my friends or family, you're really not in any danger when you go on one of these rides. Again, it's the same thing with any sort of accident. When something bad happens, especially at high speed, that is when something can develop.
If something like this were to happen, I know that he had symptoms right after. His family talks about his face was flushed. He was breathing very heavily and very quickly. In that case, if they had rushed him to the hospital per se, could you have saved his life?
It's hard to know. It does depend. I do say if you or someone you know does seem to be having a medical emergency, the safest thing to do is call an ambulance, call 911, and get them to the hospital immediately. We can image them, we can evaluate them, and we can operate as quickly as we need to.
Okay. Well, Doc, you know what? I'm so grateful that you're here because there are a lot of concerns. You hear a story like this, like, could it happen to me? And it's just, I guess we just proceed with caution. So I want to thank you so much for your expertise.
Thank you for having me.